when the whole East-West thing started, we were caught off guard, and that broke my man's heart.
To pick a side, I mean, you picked a side. Now you taking on all of their enemies. When you born in it.
The courtroom was filled with tension as a new part of the long-running case about Tupac Shakur's death began. For almost 30 years, the mystery surrounding his murder has remained unsolved. Now, Sean Diddy Combs, once seen as a major figure in hip-hop, was at the center of serious claims that could damage his reputation permanently. On this day, the trial took a darker turn. Prosecutors introduced evidence that felt like it belonged in a crime novel. What were once just rumors of a conspiracy were now being discussed openly in federal court. The new information came from leaked court documents and testimony by Dwayne Keefe D. Davis, a known member of the Southside Crips and a key figure in the investigation. In a secretly recorded interview with police, Davis mentioned Diddy's name 47 times. He claimed Diddy had offered large sums of money to have both Tupac Shakur and Death Row Records founder Suge Knight killed, according to Davis. The motive was a mix of fear and revenge. Tupac's song Hit 'Em Up had publicly insulted Diddy and made the East Coast-West Coast conflict even worse during the 1990s. Davis said Diddy, worried about his image and business, made a disturbing statement.
People were starting to say it's an East Coast-West Coast rivalry because it was people that's trying to make money. It was true people trying to make careers. It was people trying to get famous.
The prosecution's case grew stronger with the introduction of a 2009 police interview transcript, which was officially added as evidence. It described what appeared to be a carefully planned operation, with Diddy allegedly asking Dwayne Keefe D. Davis to arrange the killing. According to Davis, the deal was made through a mutual contact, Eric "Zip" Martin. Martin was said to have supplied the weapon, a Glock, and may have kept the payment instead of giving it to Davis's group. These details came shortly after an old tweet resurfaced earlier this week, claiming Diddy paid $1 million to have Tupac Shakur killed. Diddy's legal team called the accusations completely false, but the tense atmosphere in the courtroom suggested the claims were being taken seriously.
Keefe D named Diddy 77 times in court documents related to Tupac.
The trial wasn't only focused on Diddy's alleged role in Tupac Shakur's death. It was also a moment of truth for a man who had built his career on an image of power and control. The court heard how Diddy, visibly shaken, had reportedly met with Dwayne Keefe D. Davis in a parking lot shortly after the shooting. According to Davis, Diddy appeared frightened, his eyes moving nervously as they spoke. He wasn't paying attention to anyone else, just watching us, Davis recalled. This version of Diddy, anxious and fearful, was very different from the confident public image he had shown for years. As more details came out in court, the story turned back to the night of September 7, 1996, a night that would change music history forever. The events leading up to Tupac Shakur's murder were chaotic and tragic. Just hours before the shooting, Tupac was involved in a fight at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. Security footage showed Tupac and his group attacking a man later identified as Orlando Baby Lane Anderson, a member of the Southside Crips. The fight was reportedly linked to an earlier incident in Los Angeles, where a chain had been stolen. That single event set off a chain reaction that would have serious consequences far beyond that night.
Only man currently facing charges in the case, Dwayne Keefe D. Davis, claims that Sean Combs, also known as Diddy, paid for a hit on Tupac.
After the fight, Tupac Shakur and Suge Knight left the MGM Grand in a black BMW. They were headed to Club 662, where Tupac was scheduled to perform. As their car waited at a red light on the Las Vegas Strip, a white Cadillac pulled up next to them. Suddenly, gunfire broke out. Shakur was hit several times, while Knight, who was driving, suffered only minor injuries. In court, witnesses described the chaos that followed. The Cadillac sped away, leaving Shakur badly wounded in the back seat of the BMW. He died 6 days later from his injuries, at just 25 years old.
Right now, Davis is fighting for bail ahead of his trial, which he has pleaded.
The prosecution argued that the fight at the MGM Grand made Tupac Shakur a target, speeding up a plan that was already in place. According to Davis's testimony, members of his group, the Southside Crips, were in the white Cadillac involved in the drive-by shooting. He said that while the attack was personal for the gang, it was also connected to the money Diddy allegedly offered. "When they jumped on my nephew, it became personal," Davis wrote in his memoir, Compton Street Legend. But the money, that was business. As the trial explored Diddy's possible involvement further, the court reviewed past moments when he was asked publicly about the rumors linking him to Shakur's death. One such moment came during a breakfast interview years ago. When the interviewer brought up the accusations, Diddy gave a vague response and appeared visibly uncomfortable. The court also recalled strong statements made by rapper Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, who has long accused Diddy of hiding the truth about Tupac's murder. "You can't outrun the truth forever," 50 Cent once said, a line that now seemed to carry more weight in light of recent events.
Yes. He hated every bit of it. I remember one time, he was like, who did you grow up listening to? I'm like, Tupac. I ain't mentioned Biggie. That nigga ain't even talk to me for like 4 days after that. Everything with Pac, like, you couldn't say Pac was anything better than Biggie.
Public suspicion continued to weigh heavily on Diddy, even as he insisted he was innocent. Critics pointed to his long history of conflicts in the music industry, his larger-than-life image, and his tendency to stay at the center of controversy. But as the trial went on, it became clear this was about more than just one man. It was a reflection of an entire era, when hip-hop was not only a cultural force but also a battlefield. By the end of the day, the courtroom was left with more questions than answers. Was Diddy truly behind Shakur's murder, or was he being used as a convenient scapegoat in a case full of uncertainty? As the judge ended the day's session, everyone in the room was left to think about the seriousness of the claims and the lasting impact they could have on one of the most well-known figures in music.
Diddy hated Pac. Facts. hated his guts. Hated him.
The trial was still in its early stages, but its impact was already being felt. For those who had followed Tupac Shakur's life, his death, and the many theories about what really happened, this trial was more than just a legal matter. It was a moment to face the past. It was an opportunity to uncover the truth hidden beneath the fame and shine of the hip-hop world. As people left the courtroom, one question remained. Would justice for Tupac finally be served, or would the truth stay hidden? The case surrounding Sean Diddy Combs had already changed the way many people saw one of hip-hop's biggest mysteries. But while Diddy's possible connection to Tupac's death continued to raise questions, another name started to gain attention: Snoop Dogg. Once a major figure at Death Row Records and a close connection to both Tupac and Suge Knight, Snoop Dogg's role in what happened in September 1996 has always been unclear. Now, new details and theories are bringing renewed focus to his actions in the time leading up to Tupac's tragic death.
I never came across anything where Pac was saying he wanted to make right with these guys. These individuals didn't even...
One of the most notable details was Snoop Dogg's choice not to ride in the car with Tupac on that important night. They were close collaborators working together under Death Row Records. But as tensions grew between the East and West Coast rap scenes, their friendship became strained. In a 1996 interview, Snoop surprised many by showing support for East Coast artists like Diddy and the Notorious B.I.G. This upset Tupac a lot. People close to Death Row say Tupac angrily confronted Snoop in a hotel room after hearing about his comments. This was a key moment in the breakdown of their friendship. When Tupac was going to Las Vegas for the Mike Tyson fight, Snoop chose not to go with him, giving only unclear reasons. Was this just a coincidence, or did Snoop know something others didn't?